Welcome to the Friday edition of Juan's World, where I dispute or go over various philosophical or religious or other kinds of epistemological problems. And we've been dealing with opposites for some time, and I will continue at some point, but we're now in the Advent season. Advent began on Sunday, and it's going to go through to Christmas, and then there's going to be the trek to Epiphany and beyond. And this is a time when I like to talk about what I call unpacking Christmas, because for years I was really not happy with the fact that starting sometime after Guy Fawkes in England or around Thanksgiving in the United Kingdom, that stores would be flooded with stuff. Reindeers, angels, snow, Santa, wise men, nativities, everything all jumbled together. And I just despaired about that, because they're all part of Christmas, but they're all separate parts of Christmas, and each one is a thread in the totality of Christmas, but each thread deserves its own place and its own time. And so that's what I call unpacking Christmas. So that's what this blog is going to be about. I'm going to detail what I do through the season. So let's begin. Now, in the ecclesiastical tradition, the first Sunday of Advent is also the first Sunday in the calendar year. That is, the first Sunday of Advent you can think of as the ecclesiastical New Year's Day. And if your church has year A, year B, year C, then you change to the next year. Your readings each Sunday change, your prayers change, and so forth. That's in the liturgical tradition. It's not really a big part of my tradition, but it's there. Well, technically speaking, Christmastide begins on the first Sunday in Advent, and there are 4 Sundays in Advent, so you count back from Christmas. The Sunday before Christmas is the 4th Sunday, then 3rd, then 2nd, then 1st. The 1st usually is somewhere in very late November or the very beginning of December. And each of the Sundays of Advent has a theme. The first Sunday is hope. The second Sunday is love, the third Sunday is peace, and the fourth Sunday is joy. And many churches make Advent wreaths that are made up of 4 candles around the edge it's actually a square because it's only 4, but it's circular, and then a candle in the middle. The ones around the edge are 3 of them are lilac or blue, and 1 of them is pink or red, and then there's a candle in the middle which is white. And they represent the 4 Sundays of Advent, and then the middle one represents the Christ child. So you light one candle. I've shown you here this year. I'll show you some past years if I can find them when I get there. But so on the first Sunday in Advent, you light the hope candle. And that Sunday is all about hope. And it's a very small light. Right? Not a lot of decorations, not a lot of fanfare, no big carols, a few Advent carols such as Veni Veni Emmanuel, O Come Emmanuel. Very quiet Advent hymns. Just a spark, a little tiny glow. Not all this fanfare, of Bing Crosby, White Christmas, reindeer, angels, Santa, blah, 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 blah. Not just a tiny little glow. And just like you have faith, you have hope that things are going to get brighter and better. And then the second Sunday, you light the first candle again, and then you light the second candle. The second candle is the candle of love. And so that Sunday, the theme is love. Things are getting a little bit brighter. Third Sunday, you light the first two, and then you light the third one, the candle of peace. And this is also called Gaudete Sunday. And then by this time, things are starting to get pretty bright. And you put up some more decorations, and you start singing some more lusty carols, and things are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So think of it as being like a roller coaster, if you like. This lead up, Advent is a lead up to Christmas. It's like being on the upward bound on the roller coaster, with Christmas at the top. And that's what you're doing. You're climbing, you're anticipating more and more and more and more. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, coming. The fourth Sunday is the Sunday of joy. And so you light all four candles. And then on Christmas Eve at midnight, you light the white candle in the middle, the Christ candle, to announce the fact that Christ is born. So now you're at the very, very top. And you're ready to go whoosh down the other side. And down the other side, there's a lot of things. There's Christmas Day, with presents and a big meal and lots of family together. And there's Boxing Day, there's St. John's Day, there's Holy Innocents' Day, there's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and you're just going whoa down that hill. But you're still going in the Christmas spirit. If you think of Christmas as having 12 days, then the first day is the start. The 25th of December is the start. But you celebrate each of the 12 days. You don't just get to the end of the 25th and say, oh, phew, that's over, that's finished. You've built up slowly to it, to the top, but then you've got a lot of time to go down the hill and a lot of things to celebrate, and they're all different. And each one you celebrate in its own way. And when you finally get to the end of the 12 days, you're on 12th night. The 12th night is January 5th. That's the 12th day of Christmas, usually called 12th night, with its own particular versions of celebration, special things and so forth. And then the day after that, January 6th, is Epiphany. Epiphany is the day that celebrates the arrival of the Magi, or sometimes they're called the Three Kings, in Spanish, Los Tres Reyes. And that's also a very big celebration, particularly in Hispanic countries. So you don't have wise men until that point. You don't have angels at that point. You don't have Santa or reindeer at that point. All you have is the Magi. And you celebrate their arrival with gifts or with a certain cake or a certain kind of party and so forth. Okay, I'm going to get into those kinds of celebrations in more detail as we move along. But this is just the start, just the contour. And I'm going to give another contour here just to make things slightly more complicated. In the Middle Ages, right up until the 18th century, in fact, in England, Christmastide didn't stop at Epiphany. It stretched all the way to Lent, to Shrove Tuesday. And sometimes, in the historic long past, Shrove Tuesday was New Year's Eve and Ash Wednesday was New Year's Day. My point is that Christmas and Easter were at one time completely seamless. So they were two humps on the roller coaster. You go up to Christmas in Advent and then down to Epiphany and beyond to Lent, and then you go up again to Easter and then down again to Pentecost. So you have what I would call the holy season, starting at the beginning of Advent and going all the way to Pentecost, virtually 6 months. So half the year is dedicated to Christmas and Easter. And then the other half we can consider to be the secular half of the year, when it's just going about your daily business. Okay, there's a start for you. I'm going to continue for the next 3 weeks or maybe more concerning myself with unpacking Christmas, hopefully so that somebody will start to follow me in what I do. Okay, if you like this, then please by all means subscribe and tell your friends to like and subscribe also. And have a happy Advent.